Hello and welcome back to Travel Market Report TV. In the studio today, we have Scott from Travel Impressions. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for the invite.
So happy to have you here. We are at Boca Raton Club and Resort for the biannual Travel Savers Conference. And, you know, we just had this little chat before we started shooting about how important it is for travel agents to be part of organizations like this. And it's not just for what they get here in terms of the learning and the activity and the networking, and we'll touch on it in a minute, but there are also business advantages to it. So before we go into that, tell us about Travel Impressions. How did it start? Because we have some new travel agents out there who might not know you. The experienced ones all know you.
Right.
But how did it start?
Yeah, Travel Impressions has a great storied history. It was originally family started about 43 years ago. And specialized in that sun and sand vacation and packaging with air to be able to move people around. It was one of the forefront wholesalers that developed an easy system for travel agents to book with us, to make it simple. And over the past probably 10 years, we've continued to grow and expand to even sell beyond sun and sand and all-inclusive to what we call the exotic rest of world. So whether it's Asia, Africa.
Because you guys are super pro and super knowledgeable with the all-inclusives in the Caribbean and Mexico. Like, you know it inside out.
Yeah, correct. And so that's been something we've always had as a backbone. But really to help the travel agent grab that larger share of wallet from their clients.
Yeah, and help those clients extend out past that.
Exactly.
So I guess there are two different kinds of clients that they can really sell your services to. One is that client that says, I know exactly what I'm looking for. It's all inclusive and it's in this region. But then they become curious, which we love about the rest of the world. Right. There's no need to move them off brand because you can still take care of them to the exotics, the rest of the world. And then there's also the client that comes in and who is already open to rest of world. They can go straight there. So it's being able to accommodate both types of clients, right?
Yeah, and it makes it, travel agents are so busy. It makes it easy for them if they have a one-stop shop, a partner they know can help them with, arrangements instead of having to set up constant contacting and reaching out to different suppliers. They know they can call us to handle whatever comes their way.
Yeah, there are so many suppliers out there, especially for those travel agents who are just starting out. Having a good relationship with a supplier and having less suppliers to worry about, but that can still accommodate your needs as a business owner is so important. Just as important is the money. So are you competitive with commission, and how do you make sure that you stay abreast of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head, because if they keep their business within one supplier, their earning potential continually goes up. So, but just being part of an amazing organization like Travel Savers and Nest, they've already got a foot in the door and are earning a higher level of starting commission than they would from an agent that maybe wasn't affiliated with a great organization like that. So that benefit of being in a knowledgeable organization that's going to help them sell better automatically gets them not only better benefits for their clients that are traveling, but puts more money in their pocket for sure.
That's awesome. Tell us, so I want to speak specifically to the new travel agents out there, because they come in by the tens of thousands into the industry every year. And like we said, it's overwhelming to learn all of these suppliers. When it comes to all-inclusive, a lot of people, when they come to a travel agent, they'll be price conscious. They'll come in and everything is price-centric or promotion-centric. And it's very easy to get caught up in not comparing apples and apples and comparing different resorts, different packages. What advice do you have for travel agents who are overwhelmed by the number of properties that are out there and the number of options that are out there? Because there is a trip for everybody, but not every trip is for everybody. Right. So what advice do you have?
I think first and foremost, what we rely on is that the travel agent knows their client and they know what's most important to them. Is it a family experience with lots to do and excursions added to it? Is it that the family can stay together and they know that in all-inclusive they're not going to have to reach into their pocket for extras so they can stay on budget? Is it the destination itself? So that's really the key. If they come to us just with those simple statements, we'll be able to help them from there and pinpoint them in the direction that's going to keep everyone happy.
That is such good advice, Scott, because I see in a lot of travel agent Facebook forums, people asking questions. I have a family of 4, Cancun, April, any suggestions? That's not enough information.
It's not enough to guarantee that your clients are going to be 100% satisfied when they come back,
That's such a good point. It's enough to book them something, but it's not enough to do a good job.
Right. And
so, your line of questioning, what kind of activities, is it what's important to you, even coming up with a checklist of those kinds of things.
Or what have they done in the past? Where do you like to travel? Where have you gone?
Yes,
will help narrow that down too.
What didn't you like about your previous vacations? What resorts have you stayed at that you did like? Do you want something different? Do you want something the same? What other tips do we have? So that's great. Getting to know your client, super important. How do you then take that knowledge when you've got it and process that and then match it with the solution? Because there are so many solutions out there.
There are. And so the key is having partners like a Travel Impressions that has the technology arm to help you with that. It'll help you cull down the choices. It'll give you descriptions. They have tools and things that they can access through us all the time that will help them build that knowledge base. I mean, nothing beats going there and seeing it themselves. But if you're not able to do that, the second best thing is use the guy behind the guy. Let us help you understand what it is that the benefits that their clients are looking for. We could paint that picture through the tools and the different resources we offer them.
Right, and two things just came out of that for me. I heard you say technology. The human brain cannot filter as quickly as what technology can. So by you collecting all of that information from your clients and then being able to use technology to help you to filter and to narrow it down, that's tremendous.
Yeah, anything that you could do to speed the process of getting information to your client.
It doesn't have to be a manual process. And then secondly, tell me about how do you, in the background, behind what the travel agent can see, how do you go about making sure that you are on point, picking resorts, picking properties, picking operators who are going to give you good product? Because if you don't have good product, they can't sell good products.
Right.
So how do you do that behind the scenes?
Yeah, we have a pretty rigorous process to make sure we choose the right suppliers to work with as well. And luckily, because we've been around for so long, we've had relationships for some 20, 30 years that move in that direction. And our average tenure for our staff, we have over 50% of our team that's been there 15 plus years or more.
Wow.
So that inherent knowledge that builds year over year provides really the quickest resource for people to know how far is the walking distance if they have elderly people that don't want to be stuck in an area. That's the detail that makes the difference between that will get you a client for life. And so we hope to provide that level so that the agent continues to get more business.
I heard the keynote speaker here at Travel Market yesterday say that you should never aim to meet a client's expectation, because meeting a client's expectation is the bare minimum.
Right.
Like, you're failing if you do anything less than that. So just meeting their expectation is not enough. You need to exceed their expectation. So it's great to be able to find a resort or an operator that checks off the experiences they want, but what if you didn't know, or what if you weren't working with someone as qualified as what you are to know that, oh, there's a lot of cobblestone streets. Oh, yeah, it is accessible, but it's not as accessible as this resort.
Right.
That's the stuff that goes from you meeting expectations or missing them to exceeding them. And you have that knowledge.
It is a requirement of experiential travel today, period.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise you might as well just, have something that becomes just a commodity. And travel should never be a commodity.
Yeah, that's so important. That's been super helpful. What have you got that's new coming out this year? Or is there anything newsworthy that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. We're continually growing our regions of the world, especially to areas where travel agents tell us they need help making sure they have availability. So we launched Iceland with a couple different programs, new programs in Italy to help where there are popular areas or areas that are difficult to really get the right type of accommodations. We've assisted with that. And then probably the biggest thing on the tool side of things is we've launched so many new tools this past year to help them not only in the process, but protect themselves from losing business to those OTAs that are out there. And so we've created something called Flex Groups, which allows us to give upfront discounts to people that are attending a special event or a wedding instead of booking around the block that the bride and groom put together, going in through an OTA, and then the agent loses the commission on that. So we gave them a tool, and we basically did it by encouraging the people that are attending, you're missing out if you don't book through this block. That way we keep their group together, and the agent can still pick up the commission on that. So,
that's excellent. Destination wedding specialists, I hope that you heard that, because that is something that you are forever battling with. That is now a solution solved by Travel Impressions. It's so great. And I heard you call out Iceland there. I really am a big fan of Tourism Iceland and all the work that they have done for their economy and for their people, and for just being able to share their amazing country. But it is difficult to find the right suppliers if you don't know who they are.
Correct.
So knowing that you guys have some great relationships out there is awesome.
Yeah, that's our job, is to make the agent look good, and we can only do that if we make sure
you're like a stylist for an agent. You make sure they look good and that everything fits well and that it goes
I like
smooth.
That. Yeah, perfect.
I like it. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio today. Before you leave, I have one last little question. I know that you've been everywhere, but is there anywhere on this globe that you haven't been that you would like to go to? What's on your bucket list?
Antarctica's on my bucket list, for sure. Yeah.
I know around 100,000 travel agents that might be able to help you with that.
I'm probably sure you're absolutely right.
It's been such a pleasure having you in the studio. If you would like to learn more about Travel Impressions, which I think that you should, be sure to check out the link below, and we will see you very soon right here for more Travel Market Report TV.